Hello everybody, check out the new setup. I had this issue before where I was overexposing the shit out of the videos because in the background and the mirror in my room you could see reflections like just from outside. It's kind of hard to balance out the video quality, so I felt like this was going to look a lot better. Let me know what you think. Tell me if it looks good. So welcome to the first episode of Revisiting To Catch a Predator. I might change the name in the future. I'm not sure. I was really worried about starting this one because it feels like everybody who starts a YouTube channel or does YouTube has talked about TCAP in the past before. But this is just a show that I've always really loved. I've watched it probably the last 4 years of my life on a pretty regular basis, and I wanted to try to give my own little spin on it. We're going to try to be a little more informational about these ones. I'm still going to try to do my comedy thing, but I want to give some information on the behind the scenes of these predators that we're going to talk about today. And I wanted to give some updates on what their lives are like now from what I could find online through the Temple of TCAP and stuff like that. So yeah, anyways, let's jump into our first investigation.
It's a national problem that Dateline has helped uncover.
Well, howdy, y'all. Welcome to the Greenville, Ohio sting operation, where we put the pedos in jail right when we get to them. Well, anyways, let's get to the show. Take it away, Chris.
So we're going to kick things off in Greenville with Alonzo Wade. Now, Alonzo Wade is well known across the TCAP community and across all of Greenville, Ohio, maybe even the whole Dark County, Ohio, to be honest, about being an outrageous party man. So now, Alonzo knows how to bring the party because never mind. He brought the shittiest alcohol that you can find in the store.
Worried she'll get pregnant, he says, "I am fixed."
Why does he say I am fixed like a dog? Like he's an animal, like a house pet. He goes, I am fixed like a dog. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. This guy is a dog. Let's keep going.
All right.
Then he appears to pull down the zipper on the front of his pants. He sees me.
Now, what were you doing with your pants there when you were heading towards the door?
Oh, I was just playing with my dick. I got like this erectile dysfunction problem. I was just trying to get it up.
Okay. Well, you brought quite the selection tonight.
Yes, sir.
What do we have here?
Oh, we got some Mike's Hard, and we got some Bush, and we got some more Mike's Hard. I'm like an alcoholic. I'm just trying to take it easy tonight, so I can drink in front of this 13-year-old girl. I'm not trying to do anything bad. The Bush is a wicked weird choice too, since the decoy's screen name is actually Bush Sucks Girl. So either she really fucking hated George Bush in office, or she's not a fan of the beer.
Alonzo, you brought the 12-pack and 2 6-packs
I
here to
said,
this house.
what did she like to drink? Did I say I was never what I was going to bring it?
Oh my god, he's almost making a point here. It's funny because every point that Chris tries to make, Alonzo always tries defending himself in his interview, but always draws the same conclusion that Chris is trying to prove to him. Like, for example, so you came here to have sex with a 13-year-old girl. Oh wait, was it 15 or 13 on this one? I think this one was 13. He says, you came here to have sex with a 13-year-old girl. And Alonzo goes,
No. Well, it appeared yes. Would I? No. Or maybe. All right. Maybe.
What is it, Alonzo?
So Alonzo was also ready to have sex with this minor in an hour and 58 minutes flat. It didn't even come 2 hours before he was at the decoy's house ready to, do shit with her. It took them longer to put him in jail after this sting.
I should go to jail.
And that's exactly what's about to happen.
I searched online and I found that Alonzo a few years back actually fell off of a skyscraper while he was cleaning windows. Don't worry, he only fell 8 stories, which is only a few less than the amount that he changed his story in this interview, so he's making progress, I guess. Wait, Alonzo, what were you here to do again?
Here,
I'm here to party.
and maybe have sex with a teenager.
Maybe. And if you put this on the air, I'll sue.
Okay, so, Alonzo, what did you say the defense was doing? This motherfucker was posting videos of me online, and he was making fun of me, and he posted it, and I said I was gonna sue if he did.
And, what exactly was he filming you for? Why did he film you for this?
Well, I was trying to have sex with a third.
I don't even care. Send this motherfucker back to jail. That brings us to the end of Alonzo Wade. He is a bit of a classic in the TCAP community. A lot of people don't respect him or look up to him, but they sure talk about him. So I'm going to create a tier list at the end of each of these. For Alonzo, I put him at about a B tier for the entertainment factor. For the sliminess factor, I put him... For sliminess factor, I also put him at about a... I would say B tier. Just because he didn't seem ashamed of what he was doing. He just kind of was, like, totally into it. Didn't really have, like, a guilty sense after what he was saying. So now we're going to move on to our next predator. His name is Nathan Downhour, a.k.a. I'll let you say it, Chris, because you have a very dreamy, nice voice. Let's tell the audience who the next predator is.
Stares. Green-eyed 121 doesn't seem to mind. After all, he's already made a date for sex with her in person.
The problem with the Nathan Downhour's chats is that they feel more instructional than they do romantic or sexy. He's not talking about, like... So it's fucked up. But he's talking to, like, this person that he wants to have sex with. And he goes, and then blah, 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 because blah, 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 blah. It's like he's writing a fucking English essay on how to have sex instead of, like, trying to be, like, cute or anything. And that's not, like, I'm not trying to say, oh, he should have done better at trying to chat with this decoy. I'm just saying you sound like a fucking nerd, Nathan.
Want to do to him?
Fantasies dreamed up online are in your mind. Things you might not be able to willingly do when it comes down to it.
I will.
Yes, Nathan, but the problem is you came to the Sting House. It wasn't a fantasy for you at that point. It was an act that you were trying to act out. It doesn't matter if it was a fantasy, because you were going to this house to do illegal shit with a young minor.
Well, I know, but it's illegal for someone to use the internet to solicit somebody who's 13 for sex.
That I was unaware of.
Sheriff's office.
How can you be unaware? Just because it's the internet doesn't make it legal to solicit a minor for sex. There's no difference between being in person and doing sexual shit that you're not supposed to do and doing it over the internet. He thinks that, like, the internet just removes this, like, law thing because I don't know why, but the way that he makes it seem, he thinks that the internet just, like, pulls any sort of responsibility that he has for this out of the picture. Also, this decoy was chatting Nathan back like it was a job and she was on salary. They text every second of every single day. And on top of that, she's responding during school hours, which one should be a red flag for Nathan. It's not for some reason, but it should be for him. And 2, Katie did sings. You're supposed to be in art class, bro. Get the fuck off the internet. Stop talking to old men and go paint some fucking copies of Van Gogh's Starry Night in art class. And that about does it for Nathan Downhour. Overall, on our Predator scale, he's going to get about a B for sliminess, just because his chat reads like a 50 Shades of Grey novel. And actually, bump him up to an A. We'll bump him up to an A for his sliminess factor. And for his entertainment factor, which is an even bigger detriment to him, we were going to put him at about a D because he doesn't really do shit the entire interview. Next, we're going to be going on to Jason Shepner, a.k.a. Chris. Say it for me.
In our driveway, back.
Online, he calls himself J10O72960. He's also been chatting with the decoy Katie Did Sings.
And just like that, Jason is in the Sting house in an hour and 9 minutes? This dude has the world record for the getting arrested speed run.
Is really 21-year-old Jason Shopner.
Where you at?
I gotta go get a Band-Aid before I bleed all over the rug.
Oh, okay.
Hey, why don't you hang out, have a seat right on the other side of the bar for me, will you?
Chris, why did you just cut off the decoy that bad? She was mid-sentence trying to draw this predator in for you so you can get content on your show. And you're just like, shut up, bitch. It's my time to shine. And then start doing your thing.
Me to get things started. Tell me what was happening.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I do, I'm sorry.
You're sorry for what?
You can tell, and I'm going to move Jason up to an A for the sliminess factor. You can tell he is not ashamed of himself being there. By his body language and his facial expressions and stuff, you can tell that this whole act that he's putting on of trying to be like, oh my god, I'm so stupid, is just to get him out of the situation, which I'm sure a lot of them are. I'm sure that most of these guys didn't feel regret in the moment for these things that they did. But I don't know. It just comes off, Jason looks like an asshole in this one.
Want me to rub your feet?
No, no, okay, alright.
He wasn't asking you, Jason. He wasn't asking you if you wanted him to rub your feet.
Do you ever watch television?
Yeah.
You ever watch Dateline?
Dateline?
Dateline NBC? You ever seen our stories on computer predators?
Yeah.
You ever seen our stories on Dateline, huh? Little bitch. You ever watched a Sophisticated Man's television show before? You ever seen Dateline before? You ever get out of the house? Bitch. So Jason's chat log is really boring. He's one of the tamer predators in the Sting. Besides the whole clearly not showing regret for whatever he was doing thing. But the biggest thing about him is because the decoy is fucking awful at spelling words out, half of his conversation is just him saying, what? Or, huh? Like, trying to understand whatever the decoy is saying.
So even after seeing our previous investigations, watching men being confronted and arrested, he wasn't discouraged from doing the very same thing.
That puts us at the end of Jason's interview. Next, we're going to be moving on to Tim Isaac.
His name is Tim Isaac, screen name Park and Ride 469.
Where are you at?
Bitch, where are you at? This is my house. Why do so many of these guys, though, they're so fucking creepy with that, where they rush into the house, especially this dude. This dude fucking sprints in like Usain Bolt and says, where are you at? Like fucking chill out, dude. This isn't Bowser's Castle, Timothy.
Makes a man get in a car and drive 2 hours.
I don't know, just...
I don't know. Pussy.
I wasn't looking for nothing.
I wonder if these guys ever realize that saying, I wasn't looking for nothing, makes you sound way guiltier than if you just kept your mouth shut until it was brought up to you. Chris didn't even bring anything up yet. All he said was, what you doing here tonight? And you immediately go, I wasn't looking for nothing. Obviously you were.
Okay. Are you still a virgin?
Stupid question for an older man to ask a girl like that.
It's not stupid because you're an older man to ask a younger person. It's stupid because she's 15. Do you know a lot of 15-year-olds that have sex or something, Timothy?
Before?
Very little time for some DUI.
DUI?
Yeah.
This whole interview, Timothy is so, like, buddy-buddy with Chris Hansen. He just is talking like they're just two dudes hanging out at a bar the entire interview. Chris does not take this kind of shit, Timothy. Chris does not like you. You cannot get Chris to like you. Chris wants content for his show, and he wants you to get the fuck out and get arrested, just like everybody else watching does. You can't win anybody over when you are on that seat. So Timothy, looking up into his current history, he was actually removed from the registered sex offenders list last year in Darke County, Ohio. And he also got married, which means that we can either see him back about 21 days later, or like Patrick Parr, or 15 years later like the rest of the Predators that come through here. Genuine question for you guys, though. Do you think these guys are once a Predator, always a Predator, or do you think that there's some point where they aren't considered that way anymore? Because you have Dark County, which legally doesn't require this guy to register as a sex offender anymore because he hasn't offended in 17 years. But at the same time, there's got to be some sort of psychological thing that's up in these people's minds that is permanent part of their character. It's got to be some sort of biological, like, neurological thing that's just up with their brains. I don't know which side I stand on. Either way, I just want to see what other people think of it. I'm not defending any of these guys at all. They did horrible things in their past, but I wanted to see what people's thoughts were on that. That brings us to the end of Timothy Isaac. He gets a C for the sliminess factor. He's not too gross compared to some of these other Predators that are on here, but his entertainment factor is an A because, I mean, he was on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Like, it's in the name of the title.
Here comes 20-year-old Josh Tuttle, screen name Goodbody 1330.
Holy shit, is that Justin Timberlake circa 1999? I guess you can say he really couldn't stop the feeling of being attracted to minors. Josh Tuttle looks like Justin Timberlake if Justin Timberlake sold weed. Josh Tuttle's really popular on the Temple of TCAP. People think he's one of the funniest Predators in the series. I didn't see it personally myself.
Did you bring condoms with you?
No, sir.
There's no condoms in your pocket.
I have one, but that's just...
Yeah, I have one condom on me, Chris, but that one doesn't count because it was in my pocket. I don't have any other condoms on me.
So I went and I talked to my pastor.
And what did this pastor tell you? Bring condoms with you.
No, sir.
I know this is super stupid to make fun of, but Josh Tuttle, keep your fucking glasses on. It's like every single time that they cut in the show, his glasses are like toggled on and off. It's like an on and off switch for his glasses to be on. Alright, and that puts us at the end of Josh Tuttle. I couldn't find much on him. Whatever he was doing before, I guess he could have just said bye to it. For the tier listing, I'm going to give Josh Tuttle a C for the sliminess factor. And for the entertainment factor, I'll give him a B+.
Hello? Oh, I want to take my coat off. I'm sweating to death after I was freezing.
That'll make no fucking sense, dog.
Unlike all the men you've met so far, France, whose screen name is Net Buckeye, is very careful when it comes to talking about sex.
John France looks like a raisin. I don't know why. He just looks like a raisin to me.
Boy, Chicky Girl asks, got any condoms? He says, what are those?
Activity. Why then chat up a 14-year-old girl and come to visit her?
I'm lonely. That is the bottom line.
Really?
Yes. Very.
Why is John France dressed like a greaser? This 13-year-old isn't even old enough to be reading The Outsiders.
He tells us that out in his car, there's an envelope on the passenger seat. So Dell goes out to get it.
I was concerned for my safety.
Oh yeah, you should definitely be the one scared when you're the one casing the joint to make sure there are no cops, and then gearing up to go inside and commit a felony.
The note, and starts to read.
My name is Walter Hartwell White. I live at 308 Negra Arroyo Lane.
Is there a church group or a saloon or?
There is. I go to church every Sunday, and it's like, and in fact, I'm going to a new church now because I'm not happy with my...
So looking up where John France is now, he's still a senior mechanical designer. And a fun fact about him is that he can actually raise his left eyebrow, but not his right eyebrow. Just like he left his old church, but he still wasn't doing right.
Came to meet a 13-year-old.
Didn't you think for one fucking second in that grape-sized brain of yours that this was one of our investigations? Did you not contemplate that at all, you low IQ individual? So many of these guys have seen this show before, and they're worried that they're going to end up on the show when they're chatting with a decoy, and they talk about the show to the decoy, and then they come to the sting house, and they don't even realize that Chris Hansen himself is standing right in front of them, interviewing them. They don't notice until after he brings it up every single time. But yeah, that brings us to the end of John France. And next we're going to be moving on to James Rutherford.
He's 26-year-old James Rutherford, screen name I.U. Rutherford, to do a bit of a show as well. Several times he asks the actress to show him her stomach.
And then he starts pulling the boxers down a little bit. Doesn't go all the way down.
Right off the bat, for James Rutherford, we're going to just give him an A for the sliminess factor. This dude did some fucked up shit with this decoy.
It appears the man is having second thoughts. Could it be that he's actually having a change of heart and is
He jacked off. He fucking did it. Post-nut clarity hit him like a fucking meteor. So then 26-year-old James Rutherford is a school teacher for children who are only about a year or two younger than the decoy that he was going to see. He has since resigned from being a teacher shortly after this show came out. And as of November 2017, his listing under the registered sex offender list, it was actually also revoked, so he's no longer under that list anymore. James and the decoy talk for about 8 days before he comes to the staying house, completely out of the blue. Nobody even knew he was going to come. That's a double entendre.
Who did you think you were going to meet here?
Just this kid I've been talking to.
This kid?
I know she's a kid.
Offers this excuse.
Chris, I swear to God, I will fucking blow you under this table right now if you let me go. Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky style.
I am going through a divorce. My wife Thursday told me she was leaving me.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it right for you to have this kind of discussion.
And I shouldn't have.
The teacher admits he's chatted with underage kids before. And
my wife is leaving me is not a valid excuse for contacting a minor for sex. Like, oh my God, my wife is leaving me. My job doesn't pay me a lot. And now I'm attracted to minors. It doesn't happen that way. You're a school teacher, for God's sake. You've even admitted that you've had these feelings before.
You ever watch Dateline NBC?
Oh, damn, I've seen one of these.
You've seen one of these?
Yeah. You know, that was one of the reasons I thought
set up. You've actually seen our previous program.
Chris Hansen's on the edge of his seat getting complimented for people viewing his TV show. He's going, oh, you've seen the show before? Like, he's a fan of The Predator instead of the other way around.
In the school you teach, right? It's a legitimate question.
He talked to us for more than 40 minutes, several times.
I can only imagine the police outside and Chris, like their excursion on this 40-minute interview that Chris was doing. Chris, come on, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Now hold on, this guy's giving me great content. Ratings are really low at NBC right now, so please let me just stretch this guy out a little bit more. Shortly after the sting operation in Greenville, Rutherford was actually called out by Danica, the decoy that he was talking to, as well as Chris Hansen in a Corvette forum, and James is actually what seems like a pretty frequent browser of the Temple of TCAP forums as well. I'm not sure if he's like a fan of this show, but he alludes to a couple of Predators in some posts that he's put on there. So now, a lot of the guys here in this sting are really their worst critics. A lot of them have seen the show, either enjoyed the show or watched the show a lot. And when they're confronted online about it, on forums and stuff like that, they just get so defensive about their role. It's just so sad to see someone who's their own worst critic. And that brings us to the end of the first half of the Greenville, Ohio investigation. This isn't the end of the disgusting man-children in Dark County, Ohio. Not by a long shot. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Give it a like and subscribe to the channel to gain prophetic visions of the future. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.